Okay, looks like we've got a stream. Let's see if we can get a game. Here we go. Okay, we got e4, e5. Evenly rated players here. I'll play the Ruy Lopez. There we go. Standard moves so far. That's a little slow. Guess I could take time to prevent the pin here. He hasn't put any pressure on my pawn. Normally they bring the knight out to f6 pretty quickly to ask the question about how I intend to defend it. There he goes. So now actually I think I need to defend it. Is that right? I could defend it with the bishop. The idea being I don't want to waste a move playing d3 and then d4. So if I can defend it with a piece, and the trick of defending it with the rook indirectly doesn't work because his pawn is already defended. So now he's got the bishop and the knight indirectly, the bishop indirectly looking at the pawn and the knight looking at it. Yeah, let's go ahead and open up the center since he hasn't castled yet. He's about to castle, but I can get the first strike in here, maybe. I assume he lifted his queen so he could castle on the queen side. His queen side is a little bit open. No, okay, he's going to go for the king side castling. So what to do here? If I push this pawn and we trade, and then that opens us up for a queen trade. Let's just develop, I guess. And welcome to the stream, everybody. This is my first game. Let's see, my rating was, I think it hit bottom last week. We'll see. It started an uptrend. But I don't want to count anything before it happens. So he does get to take advantage of this. He didn't. he could have just taken the pawn, right? 2 attackers, 1 defender. Now he's got to do something about his knight. Yeah, so that move here, kicking my bishop, was kind of a tempo move. I didn't want to give up the bishop, but it's better to give up the bishop than give up a pawn, so that was a mistake. Should have just kicked the knight, allowed him to take the bishop. Well, we could check that out after the game, ask what the chess engine thinks of that position. Okay, so I think I'll move my queen to the side so I can push this pawn and not be forced to trade queens. So he wants to trade bishops. Well, I could trade the knight, though. Keep the bishop. I like the bishop in this position. Okay, let's put the rook opposite the queen. prepare the e5 push here. Hello, 4A done. How you doing? So yeah, again, he puts his queen opposite my queen. Interesting. It's also defending his knight. So I push, he takes, I take. It does open up a line for my bishop. Well, that's good. I had kind of a rough winter, but hopefully I'm on the mend here, so we will see. Okay, so he's attacking my bishop. I wanted to just drop back here, here, or here. He doesn't have a dark squared bishop, so I don't really need to defend this pawn. So let's drop all the way back and stay out of the way of the pawns. So what I'm thinking is maybe bishop here sort of pins that knight. Not quite, because the knight could always go there or there, defending the bishop. And then knight here. And knight here is not doing so much. I guess he's going to bring his knight here, huh? Maybe I'll put my knight here first. See where that queen is going. Can't take the pawn because the bishop is defending it. So he does a counterattack, huh? So I take the queen, he takes the queen with check. I move, and then he takes my knight. Okay. So I should move my queen then. Where to? Yeah, if I go there, I'm walking into a fork. So I guess there. I didn't entirely like this because if he takes my knight now, I have to take back with the queen. But it does keep me out of trouble in terms of the knight fork here. Okay, well, he forgot his queen was hanging. He can move the knight with check, but I can take it with my queen, so that can't be good. Yeah, he just gave up his queen. Okay, so I should move my queen somewhere, get it away from the discovered check. Maybe just here. Also get it out of the way of the bishop. Threatened to take his knight. And okay, this is not really doing much, but we will let him play it. Okay, that's interesting. I forgot about the rook being undefended there. I have this check. Pick up the rook. And he's set up for a discovered check here, so I check, he takes, I take the rook, then he does something and I move my king. I think it's okay. I don't see him winning my queen back, in other words. So, some interesting flurry of tactics there. I could move my queen with check first. No, that doesn't help. Spicy. Yeah, so he's got a discovered check. I just didn't see that it led too much. Since he can't attack the queen, he can double check the king, yeah. That's fine. Just step away. Just walk away from trouble. Yeah, I can just go back here. If he checks me, I can take the bishop. So I've got a queen versus a knight. Pawns are 2 versus 3 and 3 versus 3. He's got an extra pawn. Okay. I'm going to run out of time, huh? Suppose that's why he's playing. I'll just simplify. Got an extra piece. Should be able to avoid losing on time this way. Okay, let's keep that pawn. And we should be okay. Yeah. He pushes, I take, he pushes, I go here, he pushes again. go here. It's just in time. I moved my king back just in time. I was actually close. And he resigned. Okay, well, nice way to start this off. Some fun tactics there. Let's see if we can get another game. Oh, I wanted to check the opening. Yeah, let's go to the analysis board. I did want to check that one thing in the opening. We were playing this kind of slow version of the Ruy Lopez where he played this move. That's not normal, but it's not horrible either. Plus 0.6 advantage for white. So this is not the best move. What's the best way? Probably a4. Okay, play actively here. Or castle. So that was a slow move. And so we're back to about even. We're trading slow moves. So one thing is, it says I could have actually played this. I wondered about that. And if he takes, I've got this. This is a nice trick. There's actually two loose pieces there, so he can't take it. So the bishop here is already defending the pawn. I didn't need to do this. And then he went here. It says I should drop back. It says that's good. And if he takes... Oh, my bishop is still defending it. Okay, I forgot my bishop was still defending it. I moved my bishop back, but it's still defending it, so he can't take. Okay, so there was never a chance for him to take the pawn. So I did okay in the opening, a few slow moves, but not too bad. Let's get somebody new. Okay, try c4 this time. Thank you, 4A done. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Okay, got an English opening. He just replied with a knight move, very straightforward. Then the pawn move, okay. So I'm going to develop my bishop here. He doesn't like allowing my bishop on that diagonal. He wants to immediately contest it. But I think I'm going to play d4 then. Have a line for my dark squared bishop here. Get a pawn in the center. Okay, so I think I'd like to get in e4, e5, kick this bishop back. Could do that with the queen, or I could do it with the rook. Let's lift the queen up. The only thing I could do is I could put the bishop here to try and stop him from castling, but that would probably just result in a trade of bishops. So if he pushes the e-pawn, I could take it, or maybe I could just push. Anyway, but he wants to do this. Okay, we will. After the bishop retreats, yeah, I can develop my bishop with tempo. He could block with the pawn. I take. Do I like Ludo? I'm not sure what Ludo is for the king. But I do play shogi and Go as well as chess. Anyway, I'm provoking a little action here. He hasn't quite finished developing. If he tries to take my knight first, I'll take his queen. So he steps out of the way. If he trades his bishop for my knight, then my bishop will be hitting this loose pawn here. Yeah, Go is a pretty nice game, I think. Okay, I'm going to put my rook opposite his queen. I'm thinking maybe pushing these pawns forward. Not sure if that's good or not, but it's maybe an idea here. And still hasn't developed his knight, and it doesn't have good squares to go to. But I have to be careful when I push these pawns. It weakens the e-pawn. He could take my knight and then... no, but I'll have a pawn here, so he won't actually be able to do that. Yeah, let's try this. We will try activating things. Okay, so we went for the... trade immediately to stop me from pushing through the center. I'm getting my rook off this diagonal and also targeting this pawn here. So maybe I can push through the center at the cost of sacrificing the e-pawn. Get something out of it. A bishop here would be good, if it were supported by a rook or a pawn. Okay, I take, he takes, I take, he takes. I take. So I get one more pawn. He gets an active rook. I have the bishop pair. I think this is probably good for me. This is hanging if the knight moves. So he goes for the en passant. Tries to get this going. Let's see, if I take en passant, he takes with the bishop. He resigned. Was there a mistake here? Let me see. I still have time. He still has time. If I take en passant, he has to take with the bishop. Do I play with viewers? Yes, if you want to challenge me on JimsChess, I'll play you a game. Yeah, I'm not seeing any killer blow here. I'm not sure why he resigned. +5. Rook here. Not a move I was thinking of, but it does threaten to take his knight. Okay, the knight moves. Can't go there. Has to go here. Then what? And then I just penetrate on the second rank. Yeah, let's get somebody new. Okay, d4. We're going to get a London system or something like it. Oh, what do you call that? Stonewall attack. The old Stonewall attack. I'm good with that. We can play that. Let's get castled. Anyway, my idea is to move this pawn forward and bring this knight over here, and maybe even bring it back up here again. Yeah, he's got the complete stonewall setup. He is hitting this pawn. Let's not give it up for nothing. My knight was 2 hops away still. Okay, so now he goes there. This is interesting. So I push, he takes, I take, he takes. He's got an extra pawn there. I come here to attack it. Maybe if I had, yeah, so I could take there at any time. But let's do this. See if he wants to take on passant, or let this pawn stand here, shutting down his queen and bishop there. When he takes on passant, the idea is I get the knight, this square for the knight. So yeah, instead he targets this pawn, which is weak. I could put a bishop here, he could put a pawn up. So I actually have to go for a closed structure. Not my favorite, but it's necessary here. So now my idea is going to be rook here, pawn here, in some order. I think I'll do the pawn up right away. It's forcing now, it's well supported. He's going to try and maneuver his dark squared bishop around. But yeah, he's got to do something because this is a nasty fork. Does that. Okay, so this means I get to take. And he's hitting this pawn again. I overlooked that. So I've got to go here. It's a necessary move. That gains a tempo. Okay, so let's kick this bishop back before he has a chance to kick my knight. Oh, good. Now I can take here. Oh, maybe I can't. Maybe he can grab this now. Well, I would take his bishop hitting the queen. He takes my queen, I take his queen. I think that would turn out okay. Okay, so now it's going to be 2 pieces for a rook, right? And I'll have 2 bishops. And he will have 2 rooks. I'll have 1 rook and 2 bishops, and he will have 2 rooks. Good for me. I also had the check here, but I don't think it did much. It didn't. This bishop was not in trouble, so it wasn't clearing any lines for me. So the big problem is this advanced pawn here, huh? Let's go ahead and get the check in. And let's push this pawn forward to discourage him from chasing my bishop away. Then, just step aside with my king to unpin this pawn. I want to push this pawn forward, open up this diagonal to his king. So he stepped back. Okay, we'll get here. Yeah, queen here and pawn forward. Okay, looks like I'll just round up that pawn. Yeah, I don't see how he defends it. He can counterattack, yeah, always good. Let's see, I could just trade queens here. Or I could move my queen. If I do this, he's got a check. Guess I have to trade. Okay, so 3 pawns, 5, 3, 4. So he's got an extra pawn, and I have the 2 bishops for a rook. Here, let's get my king going. Let's chase his rook out. Okay, so if I go here, check, he takes, and then I can take the rook. I could just go here, attack his pawns. Also threatening to take his rook. Okay, let's see, I can go here. Activate this rook. Activate this bishop, get it to a good square. think he's in trouble. But we'll see. He's been doing a good job so far. Yeah, I can attack this pawn here. The bishops are really powerful on an open board. He resigned. Yeah, there's no way out of this. Let's quick look at the analysis board here, see what the computer would play. It would go king g1. No, rook g1. Go rook g1 to defend. And I just march the pawn. Attack the bishop. Just march the pawn. Take the bishop. Take the rook. If he takes, then I get a queen. And if he doesn't take, if he takes this way, then I get his rook and get a queen too. So yeah, it's all losing. All right, well, that was a fun session. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I think that's my last game. About ready for lunch here. I stream on Sundays like today, about this time, play chess, and I also stream on Tuesdays where I play Go. So if you're interested in either of those, you can watch them. And remember to follow me to get notifications for when I am streaming. And I will see you all next time. Bye now.